Some of you may have seen my first Movies I Hate That Everyone Loves video. In case you didn't, the link is in the description. In that first video, I spoke about popular horror movies I didn't like because it was spooky, scary time. But I just wanted you guys to know that I don't only hate popular horror movies, there are popular movies I hate from all the other genres too. And if you thought some of the takes in the first video were hot, start blowing on your soup now because some of the movies on this list are considered among the greatest films in history. These are some movies I hate that everyone loves. Part 2. And remember, I don't hate all of these movies. Some I just don't like. But hate sells. And I do legitimately hate some of them. Especially the last one. I mean, fuck. The last one is awful. So let's start this off with a pick that's going to make 90% of you close your browser. Star Wars. And when I say Star Wars, I mean the franchise. But this one has a caveat. I do think there were two good Star Wars movies. Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. And when I say were, I mean it, because the original theatrical versions of these films are out of print. I remember watching them when I was a kid and liking them, and then they disappeared, and what we got forever after were these weird altered versions of these movies that had different scenes and dialogue, unnecessary new scenes, and CGI fucking everywhere. There's nothing quite as jarring as watching a film that came out in the 70s and 80s, and all of a sudden there's bad 2000s CG in it. It's extra weird when those films were considered masterpieces when they were released, and everyone saw them, and those versions that everyone saw got locked away forever. Now, you may be wondering, hey, what about Return of the Jedi? Well, I legitimately think that one was a bad movie, even on release. The last half hour of the movie should have been the entire movie. The Ewoks were fucking stupid. So what about the other ones? Well, the prequels were all trash, but that's a given. And then I never watched any after that because I was never interested enough in the expanded universe of Star Wars to keep going. Why would I respect a franchise that can't even do right by its best entries? Full Metal Jacket. Let me clarify. I think the first half of Full Metal Jacket is a great movie. Then the second half is a completely different movie that basically ignores the first half. The events of the first half of the movie are never mentioned again and have no bearing on the rest of the film. The first half of the movie has some of the best lines ever spoken in a movie, and the second half is known for some hooker saying, "Me so horny." Not much else to say, except that if you think this is better than Platoon, you need to get Stanley Kubrick's dick out of your mouth. Not everything he made was gold. The guy had some stinkers. Deal with it. Vertigo. Ah, the greatest Alfred Hitchcock film ever made. Fucking psych! Okay, so this movie is about vertigo. You know, fear of heights. Which most people have. Not exactly the most unrelatable thing in the world. It's a film noir, which is great. I love a good film noir. The only problem is that this isn't a good film noir. 50% of this movie is Jimmy Stewart following some chick around. 40% of this movie is a love story that replaces the main plot. And 10% of this movie is shit like this. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Alfie, baby, please tell me. I just don't understand. Oh my god, and the ending? I need to show you this ending.
No! I heard voices. God have mercy.
What the fuck just happened? She sees a person walking up the stairs and gets so scared she accidentally throws herself over a ledge? That's clearly a human being. Like, what on earth did you think it was? Yeah, and the physics don't make sense. She would have had to take more than a couple steps back in order to fall because her scream is delayed. Also, I love that the nun's gut reaction to a woman falling to her death is to calmly make the sign of the cross and then ring a church bell as if that'll bring the paramedics. The people who praise this movie seem to think that good camera work or good editing or being the first movie to turn a certain trick equals good movie. And it doesn't. I'm here to tell you that it fucking doesn't. A movie is the sum of its parts. And this is bad movie. If you think this is better than The Third Man or The Maltese Falcon or Double Indemnity or, I don't know, take your pick. There's so many better fucking film noirs. You need to get Alfred Hitchcock's dick out of your mouth. Not everything he made was gold. The guy had some stinkers. Deal with it. The Apartment. I think Billy Wilder is one of the greatest directors of all time, but for being one of his most popular movies, I sure don't like The Apartment. I just did not empathize with these characters. Jack Lemmon lets his bosses use his apartment to bang their side chicks to climb the corporate ladder, so I already have zero respect for this guy as a human being. He also thinks that it's a good idea to tell a woman he memorized her social security number while hitting on her. Good thing this was made in 1960. Shirley MacLaine is no better. You know what's not a good idea? Falling in love with a married man who's having an affair with you. He's not gonna leave his wife and kids for you, ever. You know how much time and money goes into a divorce? There's child custody and property division. You're a fool if you believe he's gonna willingly subject himself to that just for pussy. You know what's extra shitty? Standing another guy up with no explanation whatsoever to be with the married man who sees you as nothing more than side cooch. The one scene in the movie that is truly funny is when Fred McMurray hands her the money like he's paying a whore. That was fucking hilarious. The rest of the movie, meh. The Marx Brothers. And yes, I'm grouping all of their movies together for this one. The Marx Brothers. Groucho, Chico, Harpo, and Ringo. Well, I do kind of like Groucho. Some of the stuff he says really does land, but some of it's lost on me. A lot of Marx Brothers stuff is lost on me. The movies are too long, there's too many songs. I don't know why Chico was always an Italian guy. I fucking hate Harpo. I hate his horn, I hate his hair, I hate his creepy face, I don't think he's funny. 3 cheers for Captain Spaulding, more like 3 boos for Colonel Fuckface. The Tim Burton Batman movies. Batman is the only superhero I've ever been more than a passing fan of. I legitimately like Batman. He's the only superhero whose comics I've read, and I love the Nolan movies, the animated series, and the Adam West Batman. It's easy for me to enjoy Batman because he's been done so well so many times. But not when Tim Burton did them! These films, especially the first one, are given way too much credit. People always say they were the first to reinvent Batman as dark, and these movies aren't dark at all. They're goofy and awkward and have no sense of themselves. Batman does kill people in these movies, but it isn't given any sense of gravity. People are quick to shit on the Joel Schumacher Batman, but at least they were so bad they're a little fun to watch. The Burton ones are the mediocre kind of bad. They're painful to watch. I hate Michael Keaton as Batman. I don't know why everyone loves him or why he's constantly ranked as one of the best Batmen. He underacts the whole time in both movies, except when he gets nuts and overacts. And Michael Keaton is a good actor in other movies, so I'm assuming Burton just wasn't directing him properly. Jack Nicholson as the Joker is the only real standout performance in any of these movies, and it still doesn't feel like he was used right. I also hate the way Gotham looks in these movies. It's obviously a movie set, and there aren't enough extras to make it feel like a city. This is a big city. Where the fuck is everyone? And despite being so bizarre, these movies are never entirely played for laughs. There's a lot of melodrama in these films, and it doesn't mesh well with the goofy shit. It's like they couldn't entirely commit to being funny like Adam West, or serious like Christopher Nolan. Now for some nitpicks. Hey, remember the scene where the chick wakes up and he's sleeping upside down like a bat? That was fucking stupid. Or the scene where they're just defacing artwork and dancing to Prince? What the fuck was that about? Who wrote that? Why did the Joker's henchmen look like a motorcycle gang, but the Penguin's henchmen are clowns? Shouldn't the Joker's henchmen have been clowns? He's a fucking clown! The cats bring Catwoman back to life and now she's Catwoman. Fucking what? And is Catwoman immortal? She gets shot and then gets electrocuted with Christopher Walken the same exact way, and he dies, but she's still alive at the end. Is Tim Burton trying to tell me she actually has 9 lives? Why is the Penguin so horny? I mean, I get why he's horny. He's a repulsive miscreant who's probably never had sex. But why is he so horny on screen? In the movie. The best Batman ever, duh. Every Kevin Smith movie except Clerks. You'll find that many things on this list come with caveats. My caveat with Kevin Smith is that I have not seen all of his movies. I think I've only seen 5 all the way through, but it was enough for me not to want to watch the rest. I will start by saying, I love Clerks. Clerks is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. The characters and jokes are very well written, and the movie is very relatable. Try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot is still one of my favorite lines in any movie. After Clerks came Mallrats, and the cracks immediately start showing. I don't like Mallrats. The movie is full of comic book and Star Wars references, and in case you haven't been paying attention, I don't like these things. But everyone else does, so let's fill the movie with jokes about them. And I know back when this movie came out, Stan Lee being in a movie was a big deal, but he's been in so many movies since then that having him in this one did not age well. Oh, and they brought Jay and Silent Bob back. Remember them? The drug dealers from Clerks? I hope you do, because they're going to be in every Kevin Smith movie now, even when their presence doesn't make any sense. I've also seen Dogma, a movie he should have titled Blown Potential. Yeah, there is one funny scene in this movie, and that's it. A movie that's supposed to be a satire of Christianity, which could have been funny, and the rest of the jokes are like, here's Chris Rock, the Black Apostle, and here's Alanis Morissette as God, and here's a turd monster. Poop is funny, right? You got to make a mainstream movie poking fun at the biggest religion on earth, and you wasted a scene on a poop monster? Fuck you. Oh, and here's Jay and Silent Bob. Can't forget them. Remember when they were standing outside the store in Clerks selling drugs? Well, now they're helping fight angels and shit. Isn't that cool? Seriously though, fuck Jay and Silent Bob. I hate these characters. I don't know how they became so popular. They were even in Scream 3, and that's not even a Kevin Smith movie. Like, what the fuck? I've never seen Chasing Amy, won't watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back because, again, I fucking hate these two. And won't watch Tusk because, come on, why would I ever? I don't feel a strong urge to watch more Kevin Smith movies because all of his films other than Clerks are all fodder for nerds or half-assed attempts to be edgy. They feel like they were written by a loser who had named his daughter after Harley Quinn. Dude, grow the fuck up. 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. This fucking movie. This movie got nominated for this, that, and the other, and I don't know why, because it's a fucking terrible movie. I'm not going to go into detail about the ending. It's a shitty ending, but shitty endings are only worth talking about when what comes before them is good. And there are so many other things wrong with this movie, it's hard to figure out where to start. So I'm going to have to try and list everything for you to just see how bad this movie really is. Its portrayal of people in small towns is obviously written by someone who's only driven past them. No human being acts normal in this movie, not even the characters who are supposed to be evil. Yeah, a dentist would just drill into Frances McDormand's mouth without anesthetic just to make her hurt because he likes the sheriff, and then be surprised when she fights back. This character feels like he was written by Rob Zombie. Yeah, a new police chief who just witnessed a cop beat the shit out of a guy and throw him out a window would fire the guy, but not have him arrested for assault. Now, I'm aware that cops cover up for cops all the fucking time, but this dude was pissed at Sam Rockwell in this scene. And he's also black, and Sam Rockwell is famous for being the most racist cop in town. He would have gotten arrested. We all know that rapists admit that they raped somebody to their friends in a public place within earshot of people. That's what they do. You could not convince me that Frances McDormand's husband abused her when they were married. This woman beats the shit out of grown men this entire movie, and she's built like Rosie the fucking Riveter. Men are afraid of her. No way was she catching hands from Ichabod Crane over here. Oh hey, Peter Dinklage playing a short guy in a role that feels absolutely jarring. Oh hey, Samara Weaving playing a ditzy girl in a role that feels absolutely jarring. Oh hey, a police station that's closed at night. Woody Harrelson's such a good guy in this movie, right guys? That's why he never fired a deputy who's known all over town for introducing black people to his nightstick, right? And his letter changes Sam Rockwell's whole way of thinking, but where were these words when he was alive? It's almost as if he's not a good person. Good thing he has cancer, so we all feel bad for him. And Frances McDormand is so cool in this movie, isn't she, guys? Fuck the police. She speaks truth to power. She's friends with the blacks and the midgets, and together they're gonna get the fuck out of here. What the fuck am I watching? This movie is dog shit. What's wrong with you people? I need a beer. That's better.
Selena, please.
Bruce, I would love to live with you in your castle. Forever, just like in a fairy tale. I just couldn't live with myself.
What, are you fucking serious? What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? This is fucking trash. This is trash. All these movies are trash. What's wrong with you fucking people?